Hello and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. I did miss a Monday. I thought about doing it and I was like, you know what? I just don't want to do a Monday podcast this week. It's not going to happen. I do hope everybody enjoyed their Mother's Day if you celebrate. Either you are a mother or you have a mother or you celebrate a grandmother or whatever. I hope you had a great time. I know sometimes Mother's Day can be a little hard. I will be honest. This year was a little hard for me. I got a lot going on, a lot of personal things. And it was just a little bit of a hard day. I spent some of the day crying, to be super transparent here. So, outside of that, was great. I got to spend time with my family and my kids, and we did the Family Adventure Challenge, which was pretty fun. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to move on. This has come up a couple times in a one-on-one check-in. And if you're new here, this will be the first time you probably hear about it. But if you're not new here, you've heard me talk about it before. If you are a current client or a former client of mine, you've definitely heard me talk about this particular topic of balance. I always kind of joke and go, #balance, because I truly feel like I don't even know where to start with this one. This word has gotten so overused, outdone in this health space. And I don't even think if the majority of you, if I asked you if you could define what balance in health actually is, I'm not even sure I could define it, because I truly believe that my balance, #balance, is going to look vastly different than somebody else, right? I have 3 teenagers. They're all involved with sports and things. I run my own business. I work from home. My husband works stupid fucking hours, right? That might be different than like a stay-home mom with toddlers, and her husband works from home too. Maybe he works from home. It's also going to be vastly different from maybe, I don't know, if all your kids are grown up and moved out of the house, and maybe your husband's retired, but you still work, or you're retired and your husband still works. Like, everybody's #balance is going to look very different, which is why I'm not even sure that we can, at this point, define it anymore. But I will say this. This has come up, and I know she's going to listen to this podcast. So I'm going to preface. I love you, T. I'm just going to have to talk about this. It's really kind of interesting because she knows I hate this word, right? And she's going through a huge life thing right now, right? Where, health is hard. Taking care of yourself, making yourself a priority. Honestly, wanting to even give a shit about this piece of life is extremely difficult. And it's really funny because a lot of times she'll be like, I know you don't like the word balance, but I'm just really trying to balance everything. And this is like, she's done it like 2 or 3 times at this point in the last probably 8 weeks. Because this has been an ongoing big life change, upset, dealing with all the things, okay? And it's so funny because it's like, for her, what she is doing, it is balance. For her definition, she is trying to figure it all out and put all the pieces together and figure where the moving parts are at and all the stuff, right? And that's going to be okay because she's defining this as her balance, okay? But what I'm going to come and talk about today is this part of it, is that I feel like balance has gotten a little bit too loose. I think that we are trying to use balance as a strategy for our health instead of just as maybe some markers or some guides. And I think that a lot of people don't think that balance, it is in the gray. So it's hard to define as I'm talking about, right? It's like my balance is different than your balance is different than somebody else's balance, right? But that doesn't mean that there isn't structure to the balance, that there isn't a plan, that there isn't a strategy, right? So I always say that balance can have rules, it can have limits, it can be organized, and it can be systematic, okay? So when my client T says, I'm just really trying to balance everything, right? There's still structure within what we're doing with her. There's still a plan outside of just like #balance. Okay, I'm trying to balance everything. There's still structure with what we're doing. We're still paying attention to our food. And even if it's like, okay, I can't, she's like on it with her tracking, like so on it, like so more on it than I would be in her situation. I'd be like, fuck the tracking. Like I'm getting my movement in. She's like, fuck the movement. I don't want to deal with that right now. I'm tracking my food, right? So again, the structure, her system Her system is going to look way different than my system for hashtag balance, because her system for her is to track her food. It feels good to her, helps keep her in it. It helps keep her movement forward. Like, it makes her feel accomplished. It shows her all the data. She's a data person, so she loves all the data, right? Where maybe a workout's not going to do that for her. It's not going to give her that same, I don't want to call it motivation, but we are going to utilize it as it's not going to give her that same input. It's not going to give her the same drive to keep moving. Okay. And so her system, her organization, her rules, her limits are going to look vastly different than what mine would look like. And so even within this gray area of hashtag balance, there's still strategy there. We're still paying attention to specifics. We're still collecting information. We're still moving forward, even though it probably doesn't feel like it sometimes. It's like, oh my God, another week, the same fucking thing. Oh my God, another week. Actually, like I always tell my clients, we don't always have to be doing something different. We are so used to turning left, turning right, turning left, turning right, go straight, turn left, turn right, straight, go, go, go. And we're changing so much that doing the same thing over and over actually is a very difficult thing to do, but it's extremely necessary. Okay. And so when I say that we've gotten a little too loose as far as using this as a strategy, this is what I mean. We just normalize either under eating, we normalize overeating, and then we say, oh, I can't find balance. Oh, nothing's balanced in my life, right? And so while doing these things like eating better, right, which could give us balance, I just need to eat better. I just need to move more. I just need all these things. I need to eat clean, right? These are great intentions, but that's not a strategy, right? It's not an actual, like, do this thing, get X result. There is none of that, okay? And there's going to be this gray space. It's going to be this gray area where everything isn't black and white. And maybe balance one week looks different than balance the next week, right? But I also want to be very careful that we're not just using this word as almost an excuse. Well, I need balance in my life, so, I just have to have balance, right? And I'm not saying by any stretch of imagination that is what my client is doing. It absolutely is. As I already said, she is way far more in this than I think I would be in her situation, to be super fucking honest. Like, she has a plate full, overflowing with lard and crap that she is dealing with, and it's awesome. Okay. So, but I think that we are going a little too far. And that's why I haven't liked the word balance in forever. It's been probably 2 to 3 years that I'm like, hashtag balance. We're just too loose, right? And then we call it balance to make, again, ourselves feel better about either what we did do or what we didn't do or what we need to do. And we're just like, well, I'm just living this balanced life. I'm just living this balanced. Yeah, I'm just balanced today. I'm just living this. This is where we're at. Like, I see this all the fucking time. Everywhere. Fucking everywhere. Right? So we have to understand that we actually need more structure in balance. There needs to be more guidelines. There needs to be more hard stops, if you will, than what we have. Because what we have right now is just another version of, like, I'm eating better, I'm clean eating, I'm moving my body, but there's no intentionality. Hashtag balance is not intentional. It's just not intentional. Okay. And so we have to understand that even within that hashtag balance, there are guidelines. So what does that mean, and how is that even applicable to you? Because it's like, Sarah, this is so great. Like, okay, so tell me that I have to have more structure. How the fuck do I do that when I'm trying to do hashtag balance, right? Well, in this case of my client currently, okay, we're still aiming for minimal amounts of protein. We're still aiming for minimal amounts of technically calories, right? And actually, something that we just talked about last week, it's something that I brought up to her, was the fact, like, hey, Because here's where hashtag balance, okay? This client traveled, right? She's been traveling. She's kind of all over the place. She got kids everywhere. She got a kid graduating college. She got a lot going on. She's going to be traveling again, right? She was traveling, didn't make it home, didn't have time to go to the grocery store, didn't have time to prep food, right? So what ended up happening? We eat out, right? Hashtag balance. Hashtag balance. Oh, I got to figure it out. Like, oh, I can't do it all. I can't be everywhere at once, right? So within these moments, it's like, okay, so now we already know that life is fucking nuts. Life is crazy, right? And we love just constantly being on a diet, love being in a calorie deficit. I say we as in like most women, right? Because it makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we're doing something. And so last week I told her, I said, listen, we've had 2 weeks in a row where life just kind of hasn't gone as planned. This week was better than last week, but now we have a couple weeks coming up where you're doing a lot of fucking traveling. There's going to be a lot of emotions that are going to be coming up. And maybe this isn't the best time to be in a deficit. Like, I want you to think about it. I want you to think how that feels with you. Like, maybe it's now the time that we actually raise our calories some to give you that freedom, hashtag balance, that you're actually needing. Because you're doing it anyways, right? Like at the end of the day, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't make her a terrible person. She's still tracking all of her food, even if she's over her calories. It doesn't fucking matter. She's having alcoholic drinks. She's tracking that. Like, she's still hashtagging balancing her life, but it's not falling kind of within these guides that we have set. So at that point, do we need to adjust? Right? Do we need to change something? So if you're the person that's constantly hashtag balancing, but you're not sticking within the guidelines that you're supposed to be giving yourself, right? You're not in a calorie deficit. You're not getting into the gym. You're not doing these XYZ things. Maybe it's time to adjust your fucking plan. Maybe your hashtag balance needs to change. Maybe the plan, maybe the strategy, maybe the guides, maybe the organization, maybe the rules and the limits need to adjust to make that hashtag balance actually make sense. Because we can still increase calories and it still be hashtag balance. We're still aiming for a protein goal. We're not giving up. We're not eating off the rails 3,000 calories a day. We're not drinking ourselves into oblivion. There are still limits. There are still guides. There is still strategy here, right? So this is a prime example of how I would coach somebody. It's like, hey, we need to consider this. The next 3 weeks are going to be fucking insane. Travel and lots of emotions. Maybe now isn't the idealist time to be in a calorie deficit. Maybe now is a time that we take that little bit of a diet break. Maybe now is a time that we pause and let our body do what it needs to do. Maybe we even, step away from tracking for a minute. Oh, but if I'm not tracking, and this is not my client, by the way, but I just want to be clear. But a lot of people think that if they're not tracking, then they're not paying attention. Then it's free will to do whatever. Hashtag balance. Hashtag balance, but I'm not tracking, so I can do what I want. Hashtag balance. That's not how it works. Right? Because this particular client already has habits. She already knows. At this point, she's been tracking her food well over a year with me. And she is like, okay, I know how to get my protein in. I know that if nothing else, I need to be eating protein at every fucking meal. And she knows what has protein in it. And if she gets stuck, what can she do? Go look in her logs. Because she has a fuck ton of data for her to look through, for her to see. Oh shit, I don't know what a protein is. She does. But I'm just saying, like, there's data. She can go click the protein button on any given day and it's going to tell her every single source of protein that she ate for the day. It's awesome. Okay. But there's still strategy. There's still a plan. It's okay. I'm not going to track my food, but maybe I'm going to limit myself to 5 drinks for the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's a strategy. That is an actual limit. That is a guide. That is a system that we're putting in place. And we still have hashtag balance because we're still drinking booze, right? Maybe it's, I'm only going to eat out 1 time a week. Hashtag balance. I can still eat out, but there's a system, there's a plan, there's a strategy. When we're just like, oh, hashtag I can eat whatever I want, I can still eat out and be in a diet. Oh, it's like, that's not how that works. That's not, there's no intentionality behind that. And the fact of the matter is that if you're struggling, but you're looking to get results, you have to be intentional. There has to be a plan. There has to be a system. There has to be something in place. There just has to be. I had this conversation with my group coaching clients not that long ago, and I was telling them, literally, like, you cannot be not intentional. Like, if you're not intentional about opening up the app, about making sure you're logging your food, if you're not intentional about going on a walk, if you're not, in fact, one of the group coaching clients sent me a message yesterday. She's like, I'm really proud of myself. I went to the farmer's market and parked way far away and ended up being like a half a mile one way. Right? That's intentionality. It was purposeful. She intentionally parked further away to get in more steps. And some of you will go, oh, big deal. She did it once. It's not the point. The point is that she did it. And it just takes that one time and then boom, things start rolling. You care a little bit more to pay a little bit more attention about what you ate. You care a little bit more to care a little bit more about maybe other movement that you're doing in your day. It's just that little bit that's all it takes. But it has to be intentional. Even hashtag balance is intentionality. It has to be intentional. Otherwise, you're just living the best life and you're never going to get where you want to go. So we have made balance this fancy, fun, in my opinion, excuse. The way the majority of people utilize this word, it's an excuse. And it's an excuse to do whatever they want to do because hashtag balance, I should be able to go out to eat. Hashtag balance, I can drink alcohol still. Hashtag balance. It's just like I eat clean. Okay, well, clean, quote unquote, food has calories, honey. If you ate 400 grams of avocados, you had a lot of fucking calories there, sis. So it's the purpose. It's what's happening behind the scenes. It's what's happening with the whole thought process around hashtag balance that I have the problem with. And I thought I'd go into this just because it was a conversation that we had. And I literally told my client, hey, you can use this word. Like, there's nothing wrong with the word, right? I think that it can be a valuable word. I think that with, again, the proper rules and limits in this gray space can be very good. I think it can be very beneficial. However, I think also that as a society, just like everything else, it's just gone too far. It's just, we're too far outside of the structured walls. And it's like, do whatever the fuck you want. Nobody fucking cares. Hashtag balance. This is just it's not how we can be successful. You will not be successful. Hashtag balancing everything. There still has to be rules, limits, and systems. And in my opinion, intentionality. If you don't got that, there's no point in anything that you're doing anyways. It must be intentional. So that is my hashtag balance soapbox for the day. Thanks, T, for letting me give you a little shout out today. I hope you're having an awesome day. And yeah, that's what I got. So I will catch you guys on Friday No Filter. I got a lot of great things coming. Fat loss basics. You guys are still able to hop into that container. If you're local to me, I have now launched the Summer Strength Squad program. This is for teen athletes aged 13 years old through 18 years old. If you are local, Clinton Township in Troy, Michigan, we are going to be running out of 2 different locations. Whoop, whoop. And I'm probably also going to be putting something together for grown ass women and strength training this summer as well. So I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your hump day, because every day is a great day for a hump, and I'll catch you on the next episode.